Do you get sad at the end of the year? I always get excited.
That sounds like an AI prompt. Do you get sad? I get excited.
It's like those AI.
Are you sad? God is sad. I am happy.
It's like those AI generated tweets.
That didn't sound like a human way of asking it.
What was a human way of asking
why?
it?
Okay, why would you ask, are you sad? By the way, I'm happy. Explain what is the mindset of that?
No, my mindset is I always get excited at the end of the year because it's like turning over a new leaf.
Why would he
you
be
get
sad?
Huh?
Why would he be sad?
Well, Gon was saying this is like, oh, it's the end of the year. I'm a bit sad, and it's like sounding sad. I'm like, oh, do you get sad?
Oh,
I don't get sad. I get like.
We are talking about sad Gon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to make sure.
I just realized that trash
I'm doing okay, guys. I'm doing
Yeah.
okay. I'm not sad, by the way.
We should just get AI to write this fucking podcast.
Oh my god, we did an episode where an entire Trash Days episode was written by AI.
We should do an episode, and we should 100% do this, where everything we talk about is an AI prompt.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an
There you
interesting
go.
episode.
First episode of 2023.
This Trash Taste episode has been AI generated. So Joey, what do you think of chicken feet? How do you feel about chicken feet?
It is gelatinous and delicious, nutritious. Yeah,
saying.
So you were saying, what emotions do you feel at the end of the year?
What emotions do I feel? Like a little bit of excitement. I think everyone's always excited for the new year to start, but like, I don't know, something about going into a new year, right? The January, February month, you're still like mourning the past year. It always feels like, you know, I was trying to find a word to use, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the new year has like
It feels like previous
started.
year version 2.
Yeah.
Nah.
You still like mentally, you're still like turning over to the new year.
Yeah, I guess because there's no big like kind of like Earth doesn't have this built-in program that is like it is now reset.
Yeah,
it's
The soft reset.
Yeah, it's like it's just kind of like well, it's next day, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that period where like especially when you're in school and you had to like you know write the date on your paper or whatever, and it's always just like okay, January 2nd 2020. Oh wait, I'm in 2023 now. Whoopsies. Everyone had it. Everyone went through that shit.
Yeah.
Didn't Finding Nemo come out in 2008 or something? I feel so old. I just thought about that. That always makes me,
Why were you thinking of
for some reason, whenever I think about when Finding Nemo was released, it makes me feel old.
Why Finding Nemo?
Because I can remember watching and getting excited for Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I had a birthday party. Remember?
Yeah, every year that passes, I'm like, holy shit, I can remember that.
Wait, what year?
What
What year did Finding Nemo come out? 2003.
See what I mean? Every year, I think it's way sooner. 2003, Finding Nemo came out.
It came out 20 years ago.
That's fucked up.
As of tomorrow.
I remember. I remember Finding Nemo coming out. That was the shit.
Yeah.
That's like
Fucking amazing. I had traumatic nightmares with fucking Bruce the Shark.
Dude, he's hype.
That's like
He was
me.
not hype. He was the opposite of hype. He was scary as shit.
Do you ever have this thing where there's like certain shows or movies or something else that in your mind feel new, even though they're like fucking 10 years old now or something like that?
Oh, like of a recent memory?
Yeah, like for me, like I have like so many anime that for me like feel new.
Gurren Lagann
and
feels like
current.
it came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann
Always.
feels like came out 2 years ago.
Always.
It's like 15 or something years old. I also feel that with like League Champions as well. I don't know if you feel this as well, Connor, where I feel like to me,
I definitely feel that.
Yeah, to me, like a champion, like for example, like Azir feels new to me,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and it's just like I know he's fucking decades old now and something like that, and it's
Totally relate.
yeah, you can relate, right,
Yeah.
Joey?
Hashtag relatable.
Fucking Hanzo means. That's
Overwatch.
Oh, that's Overwatch. Okay. I know my references.
I don't know. I think looking back at the year, it's I don't really get sad, to answer your question and just going completely off topic.
Yeah.
Sort of. I don't really get sad. I normally try to remember the highlights, and if something bad did happen, it's like, okay, well, am I kind of past that now?
Yeah, because I feel like, especially of recently, of like with the whole fucking Doomer culture, especially among like young
What is
kids.
Doomer culture?
Yeah.
Just like fucking people just
the
being like,
world's going
oh,
wrong.
the world's going to
is pretty
shit. This year was horrible. And I'm like,
World is
okay,
pretty
yeah.
shit right now.
Yeah. No, the world is definitely shit. But I feel like now it's like kind of the thing to just be like fucking pessimistic and negative about shit, even if it's like not necessarily something that you should be pessimistic about. Like, it's like having a forward like thinking or being positive about something is like seen as uncool now.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, I don't know that I'm British. I get it because I feel like
We've been doing that shit for thousands of years.
I will admit that like there's never been a time in like the past 40, 50, 60 years, where it was as shit to be a young person. It's never been like, in terms of if you're just the average, not like talking about ours or whatever, but like if you were like an average person who was like 15, 16, it's not looking great. Like a lot of modern developed countries, it's getting a lot more top heavy with age, and then there's a lot of social issues going on.
Yes, of course.
Jobs don't pay as much as, say, rent, and buying a house is like impossible. So
I totally get
understand
that.
where a lot of the anxiety comes from in terms of being pessimistic. And it's hard to be like, hey, no, dude, just be positive. And it's like, well, yeah, a lot of people saying that their lives are going good. So I understand why they'd want to be pessimistic. But I do admit, though, that there is definitely feels like it's almost like a competition about who can be more negative
who can suffer more than me.
But and then they're saying this from like their like fucking MacBook and
right.
and they got
It's like,
it all
wow,
pretty good,
2022 was
like,
such a shit year. Tweeted from iPhone 14 Pro. It's like, all right, you should.
I'm still on Android.
That's the real tunes right there.
But I think a lot of I get it in a sense, but
yes, no, I get it. I get it too. But it's I think it's also important to. I think it's a balance, right?
Yeah,
it's like you don't want to be like taking the fucking happy pills and being like, oh yeah, just ignore everything bad that happened and just think to next year. But I think it's important to be like, okay, yeah, some shit things happened this year, some good things happened this year. You just kind of weigh it out to see like which ones you want to forget about, which ones are important, which ones you want to learn
it
from.
just seems like no matter what, furries are always winning. They just always. They somehow always have money.
Another good year of yiffing.
Everything always goes well for furry. I don't know why. They always have money.
Define winning.
How do they always...
Are furries winning?
Furries, no matter what, always seem to have disposable income. Even when it could be like the greatest of great depressions, and they'll still be commissioning artists at premium rates for porn. I don't know how. How do they do this?
I feel that way towards
They know how to budget. They know how to budget. $2 on food, $5 on like electricity. You got like $100 on bill and $2,000 on like a furry suit or whatever.
It's like those memes where it's like you have $10 to spend, and then it'll be like $1 on like this thing. Yeah. You know that the Twitter thing with like points, and it's always like 10,000 points furry porn or something. Sorry, go ahead.
At least they're happy.
I interrupted you.
Yeah, I mean, like to me, like I really like December as a month because there's a lot of exciting things happening.
I agree.
Christmas to look forward to, and I love that period before the New Year, where it's just anarchy. Nobody knows what's open, what's going on. Are you working? No. Are you working? No. Everyone's not working. You get to like catch up with family and stuff like that. You get to hang out, go on holidays, and then like January hits, and you're like, when is the next time that something big is happening? And you look at January, you look at February, and normally the earliest something big is planned is like March, and that's when to me, like I like December, but like the January, February month are like the hangover after like the cool December month,
You need that though. I think it's important to have a month where there's not that much going on.
Yeah.
Especially in like our jobs as well, we're always doing so much. I think it's good to have those kind of months where everyone's kind of resetting and getting ready and getting plans ready. Because I've already made a lot of plans for like March, April next year, but I've made nothing for like January and February on purpose.
Yeah, because nobody remembers what happens in their January and February. Like, because it's like, what did we do in this January, February?
We went skiing. We had a little boys ski trip.
Oh fuck, that was this year, wasn't it?
That was this year,
yeah.
That feels like 10 years ago.
God.
That was awesome.
I just realized I skied for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Twice. You've been twice this year.
You've been twice.
No, I've been 3 times.
3 times,
actually.
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Oh my God.
Look at this guy.
I'm just... I completely like just forgot that this
fulfilling the white man experience.
This is my first year of skiing that I ever experienced. Yeah,
I'm just going to be completely out of touch by the next.
Yeah, right.
It was weird, right? Because we talked about like being excited for the new year and like this whole doomer culture. I feel like that's just been exasperated by the Corona years. We had like 2 pandemic years, and
This has been a particularly shit year.
3 pandemic years if you think about it. Because it started in early 2020, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we basically had like 3 pandemic years where it's just like, we looked at the year and we thought, couldn't get any worse than this. Got worse. And they were like, couldn't get any worse than this. Still remained the same. And you're like, okay.
This is the year.
This is going to be the year.
It did feel like it was never going to end.
Yeah.
At some point.
And then finally 2022 hit, and I feel like this was the year that we were kind of waiting for. This was the year where it kind of feels like you're getting a bit of normalcy. Is that a word?
Yeah, normalcy.
Normalcy back in your life and stuff like that. And I feel like, this was a good year. I would say this was just, from my personal perspective, I would say this was a good year, but also, talking to a lot of my friends and something like that, it was better than 2021, but it's not hard to
I think
beat
most people had a better year this year.
Yeah.
People got to see their family. People got to, spend more time with friends.
I don't remember what I did in 2021. It's like that year is a blur for me.
Yeah.
It's
We
like
just
I
did
remember
this.
doing a shitload of trash taste and like maybe seeing my family once. And then that was
Yeah.
it. Because I didn't leave Japan at all. At least you guys left, right, in 2021?
Yeah, we did, and that was terrifying.
Yeah.
That's when I had to go back and the fact that I completely wiped out of my memory that I stayed in that quarantine hotel
Yeah.
for like 3 days.
Right.
I was like, if you'd asked me to do that now, I'd be like, no. But I think I was so desperate to see my friends and family.
Yeah.
That I was like, fuck it, fine. I'll stay in the stupid hotel for 3 days.
Yeah.
Fine. Like I didn't want to. Obviously, no one
Yeah.
wants to spend.
No one wants
wants
to
to spend
do
one
that.
night in an Apple
Yeah.
hotel, let alone 3. All right.
It's the last resort.
I was just thinking of like the stress
was a lot.
you go through just to go through
was
the,
insane.
like the easiest kind of travel routes,
Yeah, that was so traveling was so stressful back then.
Yeah.
Even now, it's still not. It wasn't nearly as. It's still not as seamless.
Yeah.
If anyone's coming into Japan or planning a trip to Japan, you'll know you have to. Even though it's not a big deal, the whole vaccine passport and doing the whole stupid app thing.
My shit.
Like
yeah.
it literally doesn't matter because everyone's just turning up anyway, and they just are like, okay, just do this, show us your vaccine. And like it doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
it's like Japan is like projecting stress onto you to get in, and it's making you feel
Like,
more.
do you have
stressed
these
about it.
17 pieces of essential
and it's-
paperwork? It's like,
Like right
fuck.
now, I'm flying to America and I get emails like every fucking 5 minutes from
Yeah.
the airline carrier being like, do you have all your documents in order? And it's like, I just need I don't even like,
the app.
I just need the vaccine passport. That's literally it. Stop spamming me this shit.
Yeah, because it feels like life is moving fast
Yeah.
again, Like, because it was so weird, right? Because I remember moving to my new house, right? And I remember signing a 2-year contract because I was like, I remember the first place that we moved to, the 2 years felt like an eternity.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Because we all used to live really close together, and those 2 years felt like it lasted forever. So so I moved to this new place thinking 2 years, that's going to be forever because it felt like forever at my last place, right? And my 2-year contract is renewing within 6-7 months now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I've barely stayed at my place. What?
Yeah.
And I already got to think about renewing the contract and all this type of stuff. I was like, this, the time, even though I spent almost the same amount of time in this new place as I have in the old place, it doesn't feel proportional at all,
We're also just getting older, I think, as well.
That's
Like
true.
that whole thing of when you were a kid, I remember your parents or your grandma being like, oh man, it's already been a year. I still remember 10 years ago. And as a kid, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? This year has been a quarter of my life.
Yeah.
It's been so fucking long. But now it's
Now it's Finding Nemo was yesterday, right?
Yeah. It's the
Finding Nemo was 2008,
90s,
right?
the
Copium?
90s were 10 years ago, right? And then you're just like, nope, it's not. It's 20 years ago. And it's like, oh shit. Because it's probably a mixture of the pandemic and also the fact that we are gradually getting older, that this year just fucking went by like that for me. Because just thinking some of these episodes that we were doing with some of the LA guests was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that was not 6 months ago.
Shit, that was sick.
That was actually no 5 months. That was 5 months ago.
God.
That feels like 5 years ago. Because we've done so much shit in between. AX was 6 months ago.
Holy fuck.
Isn't that fucked?
Yeah.
Even when I do nothing though, I find that time goes by even faster. Because then I look back and I realize, oh, what did I do? Oh, I didn't do that much. And then it feels like instead of I have all these individual events to remember, it's I just have this small gap that's squished where I was I was playing TFT.
Yeah. Do you mean the tour?
I'm like, wow, that was just 1 month of TFT. Wow, that was where I also happen to perform every.
What's the saying again? It's there are some weeks where decades happen, but there are some decades where weeks happen, or something.
Yeah, what was that from?
I forgot what it was. I heard it on the tour.
Says I've heard that a bunch. I don't know. Fuck, some leader said that. I think it might have been a bad leader.
Some leader
I think
said
a
that.
bad. No, it was a fucking Russian leader. Google it. Google it.
Yeah.
Not a bad leader.
I think
Someone said it.
I think I also fucked it up. I said it the other way around.
There's,
I think there are some decades where weeks happen, but there are some weeks where decades happen.
Yeah.
Is the correct term. Yeah.
Who said it?
Who said that?
Vladimir, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Lenin.
Lenin?
Oh, it's
Leonard,
Leonard.
yeah, Leonard.
Okay,
See?
yeah.
See? Told
Yeah,
you.
leader.
When you said Vladimir, I was sweating for a second. I was like,
Which one? Is it the cool one?
Is there a cool one? Are you keeping a list of cool and not cool leaders? Dictator.
Yeah.
Every time I hear your
Yeah.
name is Vladimir, I'm like, are you a cool one? Yeah, but I feel like that saying is especially true especially for this year for me, because it's just like, you think back to it, like, you know, even just the stuff that we did for Trash Taste was just like insane.
It's been a big year for Trash
Yeah.
Taste.
You know, especially compared to the first 2 years, because we fucking weren't doing anything during the first 2 years. We were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
here in the office just talking. But
exactly. This year of Trash Taste has felt weird because instead of filming consistently, like on a week-to-week basis, it feels like we've had like 1 or 2 months of like intense Trash Taste filming
Oh, yeah.
where
Oh,
I
yeah.
see these boys every day, and then we'll just have a month of just like traveling and doing other things, and then we come back and we're like, shit, we need to catch up again.
Yeah.
Film 10 episodes in like
the
2
grind
months or
don't
something.
stop, boy.
Yeah. I mean,
I know the audience sometimes complains like, oh, they were backlogged too much. And it's like, well, it's obviously it's not ideal, and I think we don't like it sometimes when we have to record so many episodes back to back. But it's either like maybe you get an episode that isn't as exciting as the previous one, but you get one every week.
Yeah, I
Like, it's
mean,
like, I think we prioritize that. Like, you get an episode every single week, no matter where you are.
we pride ourselves in the
Yeah.
fact that we're
Yeah.
like, what, 130 episodes in, and we still haven't missed a week.
No,
yeah,
we never
we
missed
still
a
haven't
week.
missed the week, and it's all been in person, like
Yeah.
we have
Yep.
like set it out to be. So we've had to like intensely schedule around that with how busy this year has been.